Hello, and welcome to yet another rapid retro review. Today we're taking a look at Ninja Gaiden for the Nintendo 8-bit. It's a game that stood out quite a bit at the time, technically, based on stuff like having wall jumping. That was something new, and the fact that the game actually had cutscenes. Now, the first time I played Ninja Gaiden, I didn't speak or read English, but I understood that there was actually a story being told with animation. Primitive animation, but still with animation. So, you take the role as a ninja, and it's an action platformer with some, I would say, really good and extremely frustrating controls. The controls are responsive, but the whole wall jumping aspect, which is a major gimmick for the game and also a selling point, can also be quite an annoyance, because often I would involuntarily stick to a sign or something and take quite a lot of damage, simply because I was not aware that I could stick to that sign or that wall. It wasn't that obvious to me. As you go through the levels, you will pick up power-ups, ammunition for your secondary weapon, and it's all quite interesting and I wouldn't say standard, but familiar. Ninja Gaiden has some fairly detailed sprites and interesting level objects and interesting level layout. The enemies are consistent of a couple of different types, but there is enough variation to keep it interesting. Especially the cutscenes deserve some attention. They're well animated, simplistic, but for the time it absolutely blew my mind. So there is a story here being told as well. The music is, in my opinion, quite excellent. It's of course always a matter of taste, but it's well suited to the action, the theme of the game, and it's complex compared to a lot of other games from the same time period. For an 8-bit machine, the sound effects are quite excellent. You get the gratifying pling plong when when you pick up an object. The different weapons sound differently, the slash and jump sounds. It is very well done and very well thought out. So one of the best sounding games for the NES for that period. So a conclusion, a final score is 9 out of 10. It is an excellent action platformer. It's difficult as hell, for me anyway. You might be really good at it and laugh at that video you see here. But I remember completing it as a child, going back to it as a middle-aged man. I didn't have quite the same success, and I found myself getting frustrated by the controls, which is also something that talks against it, or brings it down just a little bit. You have to get used to the whole sticking to platforms or sticking to walls mechanic. It was a reason for quite some frustration. But all in all, a really great game. And if you haven't played it, you should definitely give it a go. 9 out of 10.